Pleasure to meet you. It's allegedly Demetria. You can go ahead and put your feet up. Might as well turn up your speakers. Pleasure to meet you. It's allegedly Demetria. You can go ahead and put your feet up. Might as well turn up the speakers. All to the top besides. Then it turn up like a boss. No problem helping the loss. All of the filters be off. Check out a couple reactions. Go get you something to snack with. Back to Demetria the broadcast. Chopping it up on the podcast. Don't forget like and subscribe. You never know who gon' slide. Leave a comment, baby. We been on shit lately. Say whatever's on your mind. Can I have a good time? You already know how it go. Relax and enjoy the show. Pleasure to meet you. It's allegedly Demetria. You can go ahead and put your feet up. Might as well turn up your speakers. Pleasure to meet you. It's allegedly Demetria. You can go ahead and put your feet up. Might as well turn up the speakers. Pleasure to meet you. It's allegedly Demetria. You can go ahead and put your feet up. Might as well turn up your speakers. Pleasure to meet you. It's allegedly Demetria. You can go ahead and put your feet up. Might as well turn up the speakers.
Hello.
Hey, thank you all for tuning in, and this is an episode that we are just going to jump right into talking about the big elephant in the room. Not this room, but the room like the world.
The whole room.
The
Love it.
whole
I love it. Yeah.
Okay? Like the big elephant in the room is...
Some call it what?
Ladies, stop allowing ourselves to get rocked to sleep with a dick. Okay.
Y'all heard her say dick, right?
Yeah, dick.
Some of us might think it's a penis.
No penis.
Well, I'm not getting rocked to sleep.
That is funny.
Goodness.
But you all know, like, that's like a real big thing, right? Young and old.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily, you know what I'm saying, the younger generation, the older generation is doing it as well.
Yeah.
You can't even think straight.
When that thing is right.
The dick done rocked you to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can't even parent your children right.
Because that thing's so good.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, it's a real big thing. And
Yeah.
it can be in a positive and it can be in a negative, so we're going to address both.
Okay.
So what's y'all point of views on that?
Well, I can tell you right now, dick don't move me.
Okay.
It has never moved me.
Dick
Yeah.
ain't never moved you?
It has not.
Okay.
Do
Dick
I have
or
some-
penis?
Do I have a little ping right now? You know, I mean, I'm going to be honest, you know, sitting here with the one and only Lady D, it's kind of like, I'm a little bit hesitant, but if you want to be real, dick can change your output and your outlook on life.
Yeah.
When it comes to the way that you maneuver, I'm a real strict person. I'm real black and white, but that right thing is going to make me want to reconsider a lot of my hard stops. A lot of things that I would overlook. That dick being put down right. Shit. I mean, it might change some things. I've dealt with a person that meant no good for me. And I kept saying, I'm going to leave this man alone.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm going to leave this man alone.
The negative.
I see
That's
it.
what
Okay.
I'm going to leave this man alone. But then he come with the nothing. He comes with nothing but dick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it sounds so good at night.
Yeah.
He just getting off work at 9 o'clock. My cutoff time to come through my doors on a weekday is 10 o'clock. And you just got off work at 9 o'clock. You got to go home. You got to pack a bag. And you get into my house after 10 o'clock. But guess what I'm doing? Opening up the door. Because I know what that's going to lead to. So dick can change things. Because I have moved my heart stops for that right thing. You know, and they don't have anything else to offer. I make more money than them. I have more education than them. I have more common sense than them. But I lose all common sense.
Yeah. When it comes to
that, you know, what we're about to do when them lights go out.
Yeah.
You know, so it's real. It is real.
But I would say it's not so much as you losing common sense. It's really what you want. It's what you want to experience. It's another avenue that you've never had before, but you want to see what's on the other side.
Yeah. And go a little deeper
you
in
take
that,
it.
though.
You take it as far as you may want to because you have control, because you're curious.
Yeah.
On what that may bring to you. When you have enough, it's enough.
But when does curiosity become stupidity?
It's not stupidity when you have control.
But when do you say I'm still in control?
When you feel like the person on the other end, which is the guy, is being more manipulative than the experience itself. Because you've had that dialogue. You know what you know why you're in it. You know why you're in it, and he should know what is communicated for both of you to be in it. But when they take it a step further, that's outside of the agreement, it becomes are you trying to get over on me? Are you trying to use me? Are you trying to
But who is that agreement?
settle me?
Who is that agreement? Is it your agreement or y'all both in agreement? Take what I just said, an example.
It has to be both.
Take what I said first.
Yeah.
I said, you can't come through my doors on a weekday after 10 o'clock. Don't come knocking on my door.
Yeah.
10:07,
Yeah.
I told you I got off at 7 or 9.
Yeah.
I had to go do this. So now am I still in agreement or I'm just in flesh and stupidity at this point because I know that I'm going past what I would say.
I would say everybody wants to feel like they have power in some way.
Come on.
See, her power is boundaries. His power is pushing the boundaries. But he knows that this is what you want, but you're not telling me this because you want to push, pull. You know, you want to make it seem like I want you here at 10 p.m. If you're not here by 10 p.m., 10:01, don't call me. He's like,
let me see what 10:03
let me
like.
see what 10:03 looks like. See if she still feels that way. And it's up to you to stand on that word.
Yeah.
By saying if 10 o'clock, that's it.
Yeah.
10:03 is not going to cut it. He's still going to be like, let's see what happens. Is she going to open the door? Is she not? But if you do, that means you're okay with a little bit. Because it's 3 minutes.
But is that the power? Is that the power of the D? Because you're no longer sticking to what you said.
Remember, it's curiosity.
No.
It's your curiosity.
You had that peen already. That dick has already been planted inside of you, right?
Yeah.
So now your womb and your body is used to it, right?
Yeah.
So now you're saying 10 o'clock was my cutoff time, but for him, because let it be somebody that you don't like calling you.
See, that's a different story. It's a different story. It's a no.
It's a how dare you disrespect me and my household.
But
So that's the part that we can talk about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they come in all sides, right? So it depends, right?
Yes, it does.
Oh, okay.
And it's an asterisk
No.
there. It's an asterisk there because let's think about a man that has a small dick, right? It really is not hitting for anything. However, they have everything else that you desire in a man. They want to please you so bad that little 4-5 inch dick really feels like 9.5, and you moaning and screaming.
Yeah,
like it's
because he has the full package.
Because he has what you're looking for and what you've been yearning for, right?
Yeah.
So when you take that, I could, I want a man that's heavily endowed. I've been with men that are heavily endowed, but they lack everything else, and they lack it because they know they come with that thing below the waist.
Yeah.
That gets women hooked. Put to sleep. We're being rocked to sleep on that D. But for men that know that they don't have all the other qualities, They know that they can put it down. They eating it. They flipping you around. They don't put in as much effort as a man with a small penis that hooks that look like a shrimp. Let's be real, ladies. Let's be real.
Yeah.
You know, you hopping like this.
Not you doing
You can't even pull out. You can't even.
Okay.
Come on, you
I
can't
love
give
it.
them
I
your
love it.
best because that strip doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hitting that Bartholin gland only. Okay? Come on, ladies. We know our bodies. We know what they hitting and we know what they
Yes,
not
that
hitting.
is
That
true.
cervix ain't being touched.
Yeah.
Right? But those men that are big and hooked, they saying, I got her by her inside. It's like fishing. Once you throw out that reel, you get your bass, that hook is in that mouth. Ain't nothing else that fish can do to get loose.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know, until they
And
take that hook
that
out.
fish will die.
They won't they?
That fish will die.
Come on.
The hook.
Because of what?
I would. Okay.
They're
They're
hooked.
I would
That's
say
right.
this. So I have to say this.
They hooked.
The
Yes.
confidence of a man is beyond something that any woman can fathom. And what I mean by that is, before we get to see the product, we see the personality. We see the conversation. You know, we can have the utmost guy with the, you know, who have this disdain for women. Then we have the man that's very patient with women. You don't know until those pants pull down to see what they're working with. The person with the littlest penis could be the loudest person in the room because his confidence has to exude something else other than what's down below.
Right.
But that's the thing, the masquerade that men have, you won't know until that moment happens and what they can do with it. I feel like us as women, we have to have the vagina that's pretty much one size that fits all. Whether the man has a small, medium, or large, we have to be able to be able to fit whatever that is.
Let's go a little deeper there. I want
I'm
us to
gonna
stay
say that.
there.
I'm gonna
I want
say
us to
that.
stay there, though.
But the men, you won't, because as they say, the men that have the small, there was the syndrome. What was the syndrome that there was? Napoleon, you know, syndrome.
Little
you
man
know,
syndrome.
The little man syndrome. And then we have the man that's like the stereotypes. Let me say that.
Yeah.
Stereotypes of
The
black
macho,
men being
super
well
swole,
endowed.
nothing
So
down
like
there.
they have their own, you know, stereotypes that people like really latch on to think that black men have that.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you only know. If you only knew what's down below before the personality kick, it's like, not everyone has that global, you know, well endowed that everyone is saying that this is what it is. But I feel like us as women, we have to be a little bit more, not patient, but just like, this is what I'm dealing with. This is what's going on. This is why you're acting like this. I understand it. I'll give you a pass.
What kind of pass?
The pass of not crushing the mind of what gave him that battery in his back.
So
to
is it
pump him
fair
up.
to say that we give the men,
Of course,
big, small, hooked or little,
gave him
do
that.
we give them the confidence in which allows them to hook us?
Of course.
Well, yeah. Because before anybody asks for a dick pic, before anyone sees the product in front of us, we have to
So what
base
is it with a dick pic? Why are
Don't you send me that.
What's with the dick pics?
So
Instead of looking in person. What
Yeah.
is the dick
Come
pics
on, let's
for?
talk about
So-
that because let's
Okay.
stay right there.
Okay.
That's on the younger generation because the older generation, you know, of course they're doing it now.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
They doing it
ooh.
now.
But
They
that
doing it
was-
now.
Yeah, they're doing it now.
Yeah.
But the older generation was more so like, I want to see it in person.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? A dick pic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you know your angle.
you know,
So right.
you better get it in good.
That thing really.
You better get it in
might
good to
be
where
this
it
small.
makes it count.
But
So-
that angle said it's past
It
the
was-
belly button.
Right. And then
But
that's
when
the
men don't
problem.
touch the belly belly button, they think that that's it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm worried about my ankles.
Yeah.
You worried about it being below the belly button.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I think everybody confidence is crazy. You know, like they really believe that what they got is really for everyone that's willing to take it on and be okay with it. But I don't know. It's just some people you just be like, put this away.
And even if we stay
Let's start
there,
over.
Yeah,
Let's
you
take
know.
some vitamins and minerals and shit. Let's
Let's get some stretch.
Let's get some stretch. Let's do a maca root, whatever. You know, let's do something. Tonga, let's do some shit. You know.
I really think that though, if women stop stroking the ego of the man,
Yeah, that's it.
you
That's
know,
it.
I think that it'll really change the dynamic of things.
So do you think that we're supposed to stroke the ego of a man?
Absolutely not.
No, we shouldn't.
Listen, and I will say this: different generations have different opinions, but in my generation, I'm not stroking anything.
Yeah, we shouldn't.
If we are in the throes of things and I don't feel anything, and I'm saying go harder, go faster, go deeper, and you're not doing anything like that, I'm gonna say, let me sit on your face. I need some head because I need to get to where I need to be. And that there is not an ego stroker at all. That is a ego diminisher within its rights. If we stop, but there's so many men, you know, that have the money, they don't have the stamina, they don't have the personality, and they don't have the dick. But because they have the money in this new generation, it's easy for him to say, yeah, I'm Big Daddy. She want no little, she want a big dog. She don't want it. We want the big paper.
Everybody's settling.
And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
The settlement of things. And imagine if the man that's cashing out with a small penis, right? We actually said, I'm only here for the money. What do you think they're going to go and do?
Yeah.
Women are out here getting BBLs, titty enhancements, lip fillers.
For the profile of some man
For some man who can't
whose
even.
ego is so small.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
do you see
It's
men out
insane.
here
It's
running to
insane.
get dick enhancements?
No.
They're going to say,
That's what I'm saying.
This is
They
all I
don't
have.
change. They don't
They
change.
don't. This is what I have. You
I
can
love
take
that you
it or
said
leave
that.
it.
I love that you said that. Men don't have to change who
No.
they are and what they bring because they feel like us as women will be like crabs in a barrel
So true.
to get what we can from them. But if we open our mouths and we told the truth, our pussy can be one size fits all, any size, right?
Because it's a muscle.
Because that's what we have,
Right.
muscle. That's what we work with. We work with any sizes, pencil
Yeah.
and everything,
Yeah.
right?
Be honest about it because we push a baby out.
Come on.
You see what I'm saying?
If I can push
Now-
a 9, 12
Right.
baby out,
I'm a-
you think I can't handle that?
Right.
To be inclusive, this is women, we know what our body is supposed to undergo. There are some women that never experience it. There's some women that have, and there's some women that avoid it. Okay, so we all know what our bodies are capable of, but the men don't seem to adjust to what their bodies can do based on our decision.
Why you think that?
So, but I'm just saying, like, as well as this is the topic, but you know,
Yeah.
as well as a man is supposed to carry the egg, carry the sperm to, you know, put inside of us, they have determination whether or not we can bear children, right? We're not looking at them like, well, before you do that,
Right.
get
right.
something done so that I don't have to have that decision.
And if you did,
But that's a different discussion.
No.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
that's a different discussion. But it's just like, before we get to that point, what you working with?
Yeah. But then
What you
when
working
we
with?
as women see what they're working with, men are so crafty
Yeah.
that they've already hook, line, and sinkered us with the words and
Yeah.
the dream and the
Oh,
what
yeah.
if and the baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You notice that, you know, men say all the time, these women aren't like how grandparents used to be. We always rebuttal, well, you ain't paying bills like grandpa used to pay bills
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
Right? Grandmothers had to go through so much. Even if they didn't want to have sex, guess what? That man was paying all the bills. She didn't have an education. She didn't have a job. You know, if he decided to leave out, she had to go talk to Earl. You know,
I love it.
And that's the truth. And they knew that. So men back then, they were providers because that's how they were raised and they had no other choice. But now we have men now. They call them mandingo.
Yeah.
And they see
And
that.
it shouldn't be called that.
But
at
they
all.
see that the women, I don't want to say girls because I don't want to be disrespectful, but the generation that's coming up now, that's all they care about. You know, they don't care about if that man has education. They don't care about if that man's going to take care of them mentally, physically, and emotionally. All they're caring about is my man has status. My man got a big dick.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know,
That's
and
it.
a lot of women will say, I don't care who he go out and fuck, because he's going to come home to me in the end. He knows where home is. But even if he said you're no longer home, she'll bust out his windows, burn up his car, and sprinkle his mama's ashes out the window. All because of the penis, the dick.
Yeah.
You know, he could have not been doing anything for the duration of the time that they've been together. She could have been the only breadwinner. But because he rubbing her back and dicking her down,
Yeah.
she don't care what he.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's the
And
problem.
that's the dick them to
That's
sleep.
That's the dictum to sleep. That's the problem. So now, do you understand that part about? Okay, but I'm not gonna say it's just the
can't say
younger
that.
generation because the older generation are doing it too now.
They wow.
Which is really crazy to me because back like when I was growing up, my mother used to say, you know, you pick a good young man, you know, for him, not for the dick.
Not for that.
But once you cross the line and you all start this where the dick is being
Implemented.
after this is going on, you know, surely you're gonna make sure he plays his part, right?
Right.
Because we're not gonna just have him inserting the dick
That's it.
and you walking home with nothing. Okay.
I don't know.
You
Come
see what
on.
I'm saying? You
Come
walking
on.
home with nothing. You laying down with him. You giving him all you got. This is the thing. This is all we have, really. Of course, we got education and money and all of that.
Yeah.
But our bodies as women, our bodies as ladies, this is all that we have. This is
What they
it.
used to say, all you got is a wet pussy going home.
That's what I'm saying.
That's it.
That's what I'm
And he don't have to
saying.
do anything.
He don't have to do anything. I was just talking to a young lady the other day, and she was saying to me, her car went down. She was just leaving her boyfriend's house. Okay, and you were on the bus. That's what I'm talking about. Do you
Where
see
was
that?
he at?
He was at home. She went to his house. Her car was down. She went to his house on the bus. She left on the bus. She went to his house and he dicked her down. You see what I'm saying? You
Car
think
broke
that
down when
dick-
she on the bus, but he at home comfortable to dick you down.
He right. You see what I'm saying?
And was it even his own place?
It was his own place. It was right. Now that's another
Come
thing.
on!
That be happening too.
What?
You see what I'm
Yes.
saying?
That's the new thing. They
And
say
he at home and he done let you go ahead and go back home on
Struggle.
the bus.
However, she
You see what I'm
felt like
saying?
she wanted to go back home in.
Because she's been rocked to sleep with that dick.
rockabye
Sleep
baby.
will never put me on a CTA bus.
Been rocked to sleep so on that dick till she ain't seeing correctly. What
Come
you
on.
was just saying?
Come on.
You said don't come to my house after 10 o'clock, but here go 10:07, 10:30, but you know what that dick calling, and you gonna let him come in at 10:30.
Soon as I hit a
you
knock,
rocking them to sleep with that dick.
when I hit a knock, she purring.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's
I'm not
what
gonna let that
talking
man go
about.
back home.
That's what I'm
Nuh-uh.
talking about.
No.
That's what I'm
Listen,
talking
listen.
about.
No, I think no.
If you're gonna be
Us-
real, be real.
Now you disagree?
I disagree. Wait, so hold on.
If you're gonna be real, be real.
I gotta be real because
You gotta be real.
You giving up all of that you got. And this man know he could rock you to sleep. She's a young lady.
A beautiful young lady
Yes,
too.
Yes.
Yes.
So wait a minute. He can't even get you home. He ain't even letting you go home on an Uber.
And if it is Uber, you pay for it yourself.
yourself. That's
But-
because that dick done rocked you to sleep.
You done brought him some food.
I don't know.
To his house.
It's-
And you was on the
And
bus.
you was on the bus.
Talk to him
But
nice
were
or
you-
don't talk
but
to
were
him
you
at
on the
all.
bus?
Huh?
Were you on the bus heading there?
She went on the bus for
Heading
that
there,
date.
heading there.
Heading there.
But the car, first she was in a car,
they
the car broke down. She went home, got on the bus to come to that thing.
Yes.
And then
You know what
stopped
I'm
and got
saying?
him a little Wendy's 4 for $4.
Do you see what I'm saying?
And he got his head behind his hand.
Saying
Like
I'm
this.
that nigga. I'm that
I'm
guy.
that
Shirt off, boxers on.
Yes.
Stop, Sam. Oh my God.
Rubbing that 4.5
Yes.
pack.
Yes.
And you like, babe, I brought you. the
Yes.
Wendy's.
So I had a friend. I'm gonna use this example.
Yeah.
I had a friend that would not return home to pick up clothes or anything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever he had in his bag is what he had in his bag. Do you have to be a hobo, or do you just want to put on the act as one?
We need some more information on that.
So if you know you have a home and you have a dresser, you have clothes, think about it. You know you can go home and grab it
and get some clothes. But instead,
You don't. But instead, you want to come to where I'm at and act as if you only have 4 pairs of
He's trying to see
something.
what he can get out of you.
So
Come on now.
This is what I'm saying.
Come on, Lady
So this
D.
is what I'm saying. Like I know as I'm gonna say as an Aquarian.
Are you an Aquarium?
Yes, I am.
Yes, she is.
I will give a guy,
3
So
days
you know
after
I
me.
am.
baby. I will give a guy 600 times
Get in the camera.
of me looking at you to be foolish in times where you could have been smart about it. But you wanted to play, you wanted to entertain me on like, oh my God, you don't have no clothes. Really? You don't have no clothes?
You're
You know what I'm
entertaining
saying?
yourself.
Like, I'm entertaining myself because I'm trying to see how far you're going to go to
Yeah.
prove whatever point, to prove whatever story, to prove whatever. It's okay, but it's also like wow, people go that extreme
Let's say this.
to show that they don't have
You know
something.
why? You know why? Because women that he done ran into before you,
Yeah.
then allowed that to happen.
I'm
So-
gonna
so
go
even
even
with-
further, Lady Di. Lady D, I'm so
on.
sorry. I'm gonna go a little further and say he's never ran into
Yeah.
Real-
a woman that would say, "Baby, you don't have
You don't
this.
have to do
Guess
that.
what? I got you." Baby, you don't see this in yourself. I see it in you. I'm gonna push you towards. I'm gonna give you
You do
leads.
have some of those.
I'm gonna go a little bit more.
Go a little further.
The further is, you ain't gotta do this because this is pitiful.
Jesus Christ. No
So
more
think about
about
it. The young lady who thought that when her car broke down, to then take a
To go
bus.
home and go get
to
on the
go
bus.
to him, either she was trying to prove to herself that she could do it because she hadn't done it before, to prove
No.
to a man that she's capable of going the extra mile, right? So she's taking this opportunity
Going the
to
extra
do
mile
so.
of what? To get the dick?
To get just to get to a man, just to get to a man.
No, I have to
That's what
interject
that's what I'm
myself
saying.
too. I have to
Because
interject
guess
this
what?
here
Like,
as well.
There's nothing beneficial of a man that you know is sitting home waiting on you that is not saying I'll meet you halfway. That could possibly register in her mind that me going all the way without asking him any type of halfway, any type of.
Why
this is
would
what
you
we
have
both
to ask a
want.
man
This is what we both
to
want.
meet you halfway?
But guess what? You're not asking because if he's laid up and waiting on you, you're not asking for shit.
But why in
So,
the hell?
that's what I'm saying,
If
like,
he know you coming,
If she's just
Baby,
doing
my
it
car done broke
to
down.
prove that she can go the extra mile, that's something that she has to figure out for herself.
That's what I'm saying. We need to put a standard here.
a standard. Come on, let's bring it back. Bring it back
We
to
need
us.
to put
That
a
depends
standard
on the
here.
person.
No. A standard is a
A
standard.
standard is a standard. We need to put a standard here because that's the thing. That's the thing, and that's how they get us.
And I love that example that you're giving.
It's not how they get us.
Hold on.
It's how we get ourselves.
No.
is
Girl,
what
you
they
crazy
put
as hell
down
if you
here.
think it's on you.
Come on.
This man done fucked you, rocked you, and put you in oblivion. A stupid state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
If you think the example that we're using from Lady D that says this young lady's vehicle broke down, this man is at home waiting on her to come over.
Yeah, listen. Yeah.
She then, step 2, went home. Step 3, got on the bus.
Yeah.
Step 4, came on over.
Yeah.
And not one time did this man say, baby, don't worry, don't come.
Yeah.
Let's find out what's wrong with your car. Where is your car broke down at? But he did say,
And those questions never crossed her mind.
You
but they
coming or
probably
not?
have.
But let me tell you why it
You
crossed
know
her
they
mind.
did.
Let me tell you
those
why.
questions did.
Let me tell you why it crossed her mind.
Us as women, you know those questions did.
Listen, she didn't even tell her friends she did that shit.
Yeah, because the ridicule.
Because she felt stupid. And
Yeah.
she knows that
She
a
knows
man,
stupid.
she knows a man
Uh-huh.
is never going to have, first of all, his woman broke down on the side of the road without him walking 50 miles if he had to. Let alone turn my ass back around, get on the bus, go home, leave my vehicle,
Yeah.
get on the bus, and come to him. And then what am I getting after that?
I would never, ever think that a man's ploy is greater than a woman. I
No.
would never, ever put a man's objectification, a man's manipulation, a man's anything over a woman, because if we had standards, these men would be fucking jagging or gay.
And we need to let them
You know what I'm
jag
saying?
and be gay.
Because they would be jagging or they would be gay, because I feel as though us as women, if we were to tell them up front about, oh, this ain't working, that ain't working, because we know ourselves. We know ourselves. We know the lengths that we will go for love. We know what we would go through just to be quiet, just to accommodate, just anything. Remember, men don't. These the same men behind closed doors be like, girl, you fat.
But we
Girl,
also
you-
have to
you
be
this, you that.
understanding to the point of men will play the role
Yeah, but we're not.
as long as we allow them to.
Yeah, but we're
and
not a take what we can
because-
get either.
A lot of women are.
You know, but that's
A lot of
desperate.
women will.
But
No,
those are
it's
desperate
not,
women.
I wouldn't say that because I can't lump everybody into desperate, but I can say this. A woman will put up with what she feels it's worth it. She feels that this man doesn't have a job. She's working 2 jobs. He don't get up in the morning to even warm up her car. Won't even dust the snow off of it. But because she feels, I see the potential. Women date for potential.
I hate you for
so women date
hate you
for
for that.
potential for so bad. I mean, we can see potential in a man further. We see way past what he does not see.
But you're saying that that's us.
But
That's
guess
not
what?
him.
No, but I'm saying it's our fault.
It is. That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
not saying-
I agree. That's us.
But let me tell you why we do that. Let me tell you why.
yeah.
The dick has told us. Let me tell you this. Let me give you an example.
Provision
No,
has
no.
told us.
Girl, provision ain't told us shit.
Provision has told
Slavery
us.
has told us this because at this point, because listen, let me give you an example, right? Here is a man with 7 teeth in his mouth. Okay, I got all my teeth.
I hate it.
I got all my teeth. No, hear me out.
I love it. Okay.
7 teeth in his mouth. A good job. Smell good and look good. But that face look like a box of rocks have beat it in. Are we gonna let him fuck us? 8 times out of 10, no. Now,
Depending on the day.
no. 8 out of 10, it's a no. Because 8 out of 10, it's a
She
no.
said depending on the day.
Okay, so that's her
Depending on the
9
day,
or
now.
10.
That's
That
the
depends
nine.
That's
on
the
day.
9 or 10.
I'm just
The
saying.
8 out of 10, most women, we think very highly of ourselves. Even if we're a 4, we think we're a 7.5. Okay, let's be real.
Yeah.
We put on a blazer and we that girl. And no one can touch us, right? So if a man come and he missing his teeth, his breath stink, he has on mediocre clothes, he has a Toyota Corolla and a chime car.
Yeah.
We gonna let him fuck us?
Depending on the day.
I'm gonna say for me,
I'm gonna say that right now.
you can't come close to me.
I'm gonna say it's a no.
I'm gonna
for
say
me.
hell no, not just a no. I'm
I'ma
gonna be
say
real
it depends
disrespectful
on the
with
day.
it, and I'm gonna
It's
say
it's a no for
It
me.
depends
it's a
on the
no,
day.
right? But let's take Idris Elba.
With the same
Wow.
chime card, with the same 7 teeth. Okay. What?
No.
What?
As is.
No, as is. He looking good, smelling good, that body glistening.
But
did
I
you hear his
can't
wife?
give you shit.
His wife said he got a small dick.
That's where I'm going with
Did you
it.
not
That's
say
where
that?
I'm going with
But I'm
it.
just saying.
But guess what? That same man don't want to wine and dine us. But that 7-tooth man, he want to show us everything. He'll go into debt for us.
Yeah.
But Idris, he like, shit, I'm a well-known star. You
Good.
need to be on
I
your
look good.
knees worshiping me, right? if we wouldn't let a 7-tooth man fuck us, but we'll let a fine man who we think, not who y'all
Is
think,
acceptable.
That's what I'm talking about.
then that's when we come rock to sleep. That's the rocking to sleep that we get to. This man is not gonna whine, dine. He's not gonna even compliment us.
Bare minimum.
You know, I'm gonna say on average, the three of us, we're a 9. You know, some people might not think.
I feel
one
like
of
I'm a
us-
6. I always. think
I
I'm
said
a 6.
average.
You say you're a six.
I say I'm a 6.
Slide on out. I'm gonna say average. 9 plus 6 plus 9. 9 and 9 plus 6. It's something, right? Divided by 3.
Yeah, I love
Okay,
it.
it's a high number. But what I'm saying is, we get so caught up in our mind of what is good for us, what looks good in society. Who's gonna be the best fit? There's certain things we're gonna shut down right away. And the 7-tooth man that's selling CDs on the corner, he's a part of the shutdown. Right? Because we don't find that attractive. We don't see that he's going to sell 1 million DVDs when no one is watching DVDs anymore. Okay? So we're not going to build into that. We're not going to feed into that. We're not going to see beyond the DVDs. I'm actually offended when he's saying, "Hey, baby girl, how you doing?"
Yeah.
So we can never get to the rock to sleep. We don't know if he really is Mandingo that's selling DVDs.
We never know.
And we don't want to know.
Yeah, we never
Because them
know,
jeans
yeah.
are standing up by themselves.
Yeah.
Right? We fall for the illusion.
Yeah, but the illusion is what we've created, though. As women.
But are you going to
create
find that for the man that's selling the DVDs? Are you going to find an illusion
You would
with
never
him?
see that.
Exactly.
So, but
That's
I'm,
the point.
what I'm saying is, like, I dated a guy I planned out 10 years. Even if he'd never had a provision, I had one. Mm-hmm. But that's just me. I'm very, like...
Now, did you start that in the beginning or as the time was going on?
Well, that's what I started at the beginning because I approached
Did you
him
share
first.
it with him?
Yes.
Okay, was he interested in
No,
the provision?
because
And then what did
think
you
about
do?
it. It's people. It's a person that's telling you what you should be, what you could be, and what
So
your
then
potential
did you,
lies.
when you shared it with him,
Too much. It was too much for that person to even handle, to fathom, to like consider as being true. You're fake. You know, it's all those things, right? But that's just how I am.
what made you do that with him?
If I'm ever approaching a guy, it has to be for a reason. You know, I seldomly allow or take
was the
into
reason?
a man approaching me and feeling like he's gonna just read me filth.
What was the reason
What
that
was
you
the reason?
What was the reason? Building.
Did you see in him that you wanted to build?
I wanted a lot. I felt like this person could potentially be someone I can settle down with, someone that I could potentially entertain.
Give us
Just
5
thinking-
characteristics that you thought that you could do that with him. Give us 5.
Yeah.
The
Be vulnerable.
characteristics was the fact that, you know, he can hold a conversation. He was very articulate
This
with his
was-
words.
Okay.
He had the type of presence that could command a room.
Can you go a little deeper into the
He
presence?
could command. So his presence was very innocent.
Without no dick.
This was without no dick.
Okay.
Without any dick. So his presence could definitely command a room. You know, even his speech is like, whether he said foolish things or the right things, it could never be any wrong. And that might have been just because of how handsome he is.
You were floored by him.
I was very
Let's go to number
floored by
3.
him.
Let's
you
go
know,
to number 3.
I was very, very much enthralled by his presence, his speech, you know, everything for me. This is before the penis, okay? And I looked at him, I was
And he
like,
made your panties wet.
no.
They was dripping. They had to be
No,
because
no,
I'm
no.
not. Let's go to number 3 real quick so I can see if them panties was dripping. Because
Because
I don't see no crust in them motherfuckers right now.
I can tell.
Let's go to number 3.
I-
Conversation, command the room. I still don't hear the commanding
What
of the
is-
room.
what else?
But I want to go to number 3 to give you the benefit of the doubt.
The fact that he could...
What was his occupation? What was his occupation?
He didn't have one.
Okay, so we're going to take that out. What was his living situation?
See.
Because what was his living situation?
Oh, hold on.
See?
Hold on.
I don't
Hold
even know who
on.
we're talking about anymore.
Hold on.
See.
What are we talking about?
See.
The fuck are we talking about? Who is this?
See.
No.
We at number 3. He ain't have a job. He was homosexual. He commands a room with nothing.
But the
We
speech
crazy.
was as if he had something though.
It was selling a
he
dream.
No.
Yes.
It was selling. He perfected the
Yes.
homosexualism.
Yeah. He
It's
did.
a ism.
It was good.
Yes.
Let's go to number 3. What
It-
else?
it was
What else?
good.
What else was it?
It was really good.
No, let's not stay
I
too
will say
long
that.
on nothing. Let's go to number 3. That he said, I want, you made your stance of let's plan a future.
Yeah.
What a
I would
homosexual.
say that he didn't have much of a dream of
And
a
you thought
goal.
that you can help him.
I think I was giving him time to figure it out.
Time is good. Time is good.
Because it's not easy
No.
with being, as they would say, a male in America, finding your footing, finding out your strengths and
you remind me
weaknesses.
of one of those Dempsey girls. Like,
Okay.
a little like
Thank you so
like
much.
Dempsey to the point, like,
Love is love.
love is love.
That's what it strikes me as of.
No, I'm talking about love. When I say Dempsey, meaning like,
He can give
yeah,
He has potential.
yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's what that reminds me of. That
Yeah.
scenario. I wouldn't say you per se, but the scenario that you're given, and that's what they play on.
I can
Well,
go even deeper.
I won't say that he played on it. That was really, truly his authentic self. Yeah.
That you everything that
Let's-
you was everything that you was.
No,
Let's
I'm
move
only
on.
saying that because there are some people that can play the role and you can fact check it. And then there's some people that have no choice but to play it because that's all they have.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. So it was never a plain two-face, double life. This was really, really that person. So there
Okay,
wasn't.
so like in the inside, how were you thinking?
How was I thinking was
Like, because you had already put this
Unmasked.
out here.
no, not I can.
No,
This was my provision. This is just I
So
gave
did
this.
you come up
I
with
love
this thing?
song.
Did you come up with this that I could build this future with you?
No.
When you knew this about him, this was before
No.
you found out.
This was me being patient on you coming into your own. I can tell you what you could be, but if you don't see that, I can't force it.
I agree.
So I'm giving you the patience. I'm giving you the time in which you never settled for yourself to actually have to think that.
So I'd like to go ahead and go a little deeper.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to go ahead and go a little deeper. When you met this individual, hypothetically,
Yeah.
how long did you know him before you said, you know what? No sex, but I see a future.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Let's go deeper.
That's what I'm
Now
saying.
put the grape back in your mouth.
All right.
Chew it up. Don't let us stop you from chewing.
Yes,
Give yourself a
that's
little
what I'm-
time.
that's what I'm saying.
How long did you know before you said this is the one with no dingling, aka dick, before you was rocked to sleep in oblivion with no job, no crib, no car, no nothing? Please tell me what we're talking about.
Okay.
And I don't know what this
so, like-
hypothetical is, but this is a crazy ass hypothetical
We talking
So
about-
like, for me,
for you. Yeah,
on
You.
site, because I approached him.
Okay, you approached him.
Yeah, I did that.
Off the physical and the carnal.
Off of what I felt from him
What did you feel?
without knowing him.
What did you feel? Off
His
appearance.
admission, his potential, his...
How long did you talk to this man before you felt like this is it?
One day.
One day.
Not
so
even a whole day of 24 hours.
So what in your interaction with him did you say, this is it, I'm going to do it? What exactly? Tell me the moment that you said, I don't know this black king, but he's a king and not a peasant. Please tell me right now so that I can have clarity and we can move on from this.
No, so based on
Because
what
I'm waiting on number 3.
based on what I've gone through, I cannot place any judgment on anyone.
I don't want you to place judgment.
I'ma
I
say
want
that.
you to stick to exactly what I
Yeah.
just asked you.
But I'm gonna say that clears the air.
So now,
that.
so then you did it. So then you saw that man and you said, my, that's a good chocolate man.
I gotta go for it.
And then, but what did he do to make you say, outside the kernel?
He didn't do anything.
He
Where
didn't
was he
say,
at when you met him?
At a bar.
he was at a bar?
Yeah, at a bar.
Okay, that's good information because sometimes we're clouded by our decisions in the bar. Were you drinking at all? Were you drinking?
Nothing.
You didn't drink anything?
Yeah, nothing clouded my judgment.
And nothing clouded. So you looked at that man and you said,
Yeah.
that's gonna be mine. I'm gonna call. We're gonna be
I
raw
can't
and
say
real.
that- I can't say it's gonna be mine. No.
So what did you say when you saw that man? You saw that man in the bar and you said, what were you doing in the bar? Let me ask that real quick.
Shooting pool.
You were shooting pool. Now, did this individual shoot pool as well, or was
Yeah,
he
he
just
did.
standing around?
He was shooting pool. As
So
well.
he was arching and bending and shooting.
Yeah.
And you said, wow, that arch is good. Tell me exactly what
I
you
was
saw in that
saying
man.
he will be a great prospect at this point.
A prospect for what?
To settle down.
Impossible.
And have fun.
Impossible. Somebody get a red flag. She's lying on. She's lying
Have fun
today.
with. Have
When I
fun.
throw this card up, that means we need more
Have
information.
fun.
You okay? A prospect for more fun.
Yeah.
What was your fun? What fun were you looking for?
The dick.
Sex.
The dick. So
Sex.
we're going back to the dick.
dick.
So you saw this man, this beautiful man, this chocolate king in the bar. I don't. He had to be a king. She was crazy over one day. You zoned in. You said that king. I gotta go for it. Right? Mm-hmm. You're a beautiful woman, right? I'm gonna go ahead and get that king.
Okay.
You approached that man. How'd that go on day 2? Because you said, that first day y'all was just in the bar. So day 2, let's go to day 2. What exactly did you say, or did you go back to that bar?
So I think we had sex on like the second night.
Jesus Christ on a motorbike. So now we are talking about the dick.
But that was at my own.
Yeah,
Call.
That was your own volition.
Yeah.
And that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
You saw that man on that second day. You said, "I'm gonna fuck this man." You
yeah.
fucked that man.
I did.
Yeah, and it felt so good. Are you still currently talking to that dick?
No.
I mean that man.
I mean, yes.
Right.
Okay,
So yes, I am, but no, we're not having sex.
okay, and can we go a little deeper into that if you're comfortable?
It depends on your question.
When was the last time you had that dick? In days or weeks or months, however you feel comfortable telling us.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, you had that dick, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how long before the 2 weeks did you have that dick?
It was once a week.
No.
afterwards.
So was it, the last time you had that dick was in September? Was it early October? When was the last time you had that dick?
Early October.
Early October.
Yeah.
We're just now in what? Late October. What led you to stop talking to that dick to whereas you guys got a little bit of dick and not a lot of dick?
Because I felt betrayed. Yeah.
Now that's good. Can we stay there?
Yeah.
Can we stay there?
That's actually in there.
What? She said in, ladies and gentlemen. We won't push. We won't prod. But her ass will be back.
See,
Because this drive home's going to be real crazy. I'll tell you what. But let's talk about it, though, right? She's still digmatized, right? It's not a everyday thing. It's
Yeah.
a weekly thing now. So she's digmatized on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
But she ain't quite...
Wait, what was his record? You said no what?
No, what happened?
No job. Oh, no home, no car.
This list.
That's all
Yeah,
she said.
that's it.
No
Did
home,
things
no car.
change
Did things change?
with the
Things changed because it was not of his own possession.
no? I'm speaking.
The car
about,
wasn't,
like,
or the home. Which one?
Right. So it
None of
is
those
that,
things.
but it's not of his possession.
So like
what I'm
he
saying?
has access
I
to
say
those
he was a
things.
hobo. I say he was
Yeah,
a hobo.
he has access to a
So,
home
like,
and a car.
he still is.
Homosexual.
It's a homosexual.
And guess what? We're not gonna only, I mean, I'm gonna jump on her, but I'm no saint. Hello? You know, I've had a friend that every time we link, birthday parties.
Take your time.
You know, it's a raw thing.
Yeah.
It's a raw thing. Because the heart wants what the heart wants.
And that's the thing.
And that cootie cat wants.
It don't matter what the status may be, it's what you want. You have control.
Whatever that pussy want.
Yes.
That pussy don't get. Listen, when you know that there's a man that adores you, loves you, wants to be under your armpit, right? And I'm talking about myself. We done hopped on her.
I'm about to say you ain't
because we're gonna go back to her on next week. Don't worry about it. I've been in situations, guys. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Lady D has a little tidbit of those situations. You know, someone very close, near and dear. You know, I was stigmatized for a while. I never speak on it because I never want anybody to have an opinion on him.
Okay.
I guard him with everything inside of me.
Oh, it's so nice.
And I guard him so well. If a motherfucker says something, I'm knocking your motherfucking head off.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Now, you know, to be raw and real, I met this man in high school.
Oh, okay.
I met this man in high school on the north side of Chicago. And I just knew for sure that was my husband. Motherfucker couldn't tell me a motherfucking thing about this man. Tall, handsome, good skin, good genes.
Yeah.
Baby, I picture what my child would look like.
Yeah. See that fruition?
This was before that thing ever touched my thing.
Yes. Us
Okay?
women, we got that.
Now, this man was very, very popular in school. He walked me to all my classes. He let a bitch know, I don't give a fuck what I had with you. This man right here. That's what it was. You know, and, you know, I was the new girl on the block. Really, for sure. No, you don't know this man.
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
When I say hold it close to the vest,
Yeah.
hold it close to the vest. Now, this man had to play a way about himself. You know, I don't know if Lady D want to hear all this, you know. But this man had his ways. And this man was the first man to really hurt my feelings. To hurt me so deeply. I said, you know what? If men can do it, I can do it.
That's who turned you out?
Wow.
Turned me out is crazy.
Wow.
He showed me that love is not the only thing that conquers.
Wow.
Selfishness conquers too. Flesh conquers too. Okay? And that's why I say dick will rock you to sleep, but there's many, many things before that. After, you know, he did his thing. I'll tell you one thing, this man got some head in the goddamn hallway as I was on my way.
Yeah.
With the family, okay? He was getting sucked off. She ain't leave soon enough.
Wow.
What you doing? What you doing here? What? You think I stopped talking to him? No.
Wow.
Guess what he was able to do? Baby, honey,
See?
my family love you. And I love them too. I might as well been rocked to sleep with dick because you couldn't tell me a damn thing. And just to be in all vulnerability, you know, I said, you know what? I now like your brother. I like your brother now. Bitch, I don't even like you no more. Mm-hmm. Why did I do that? Because I knew it'd hurt him. Mm-hmm. His mama said, I don't give a fuck what y'all do. Mm-hmm. This won't do. You better tell her, and let me talk to you. She sat me down and she told me, I don't give a damn what a man do. You don't give up on your morals and integrity for no get back.
Yeah.
Okay? I knew I didn't want his brother, but you know what? You let me walk in on you getting your dick sucked.
Get back.
I wanted my get back.
Yes.
Years later, that dick didn't touch that thing. Now, most people will say, okay, you know, you was being stupid, blah, blah, you were young. But I'm an adult now, okay? I'm in the home that he shares with his mother and brother, and we in the bathroom. I call myself being quiet.
Dick won't allow you to be.
Who the fuck is in the bathroom? It was me. Ain't stopped since. You know, anytime we link up, it's a party. You know, no matter where this man would go. Now I knew better. Why would you be fucking this man in his mama crib?
I ain't never had that then.
Let me tell you. Because not only was the dick good, the mouthpiece was good. Okay? He's able to tell me,
Yeah.
there's no hurricane outside, and I can see the house moving. He like, no, baby, it's our love.
Yeah.
Is it? It's the dick. Now, in our situation, it was a whole lot of love beforehand, before that. And that's the cultivation that men can do.
That's
Big,
good.
small, hooked or not.
That's good.
I'm going to play with your man first.
That's good.
Then I'm going to solidify that thing with this masterpiece. And our masterpieces might look different.
Yeah.
4 inches, 5 inches. I'm telling you, I've had intercourse with individuals. The dick was so small, I didn't even know if it was in. And I had to touch down there to make sure I'm hopping on the right thing. You know, but the love was so strong. And by the time we was done, he didn't came, but I'm still like, where's the toy?
Yeah.
Where's my friend who can make me come in no time?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's another form of being rocked to sleep
Yes. Yes.
by the dick.
Yes.
Because I can tell you right now, the individual that I was just referencing to, if we've never gotten to that point where we consummated that friendship, do you think I would have still been as heavy for him as I am? No. I mean, it's been previous, current things, you know, that I'm saying who he is not who he's always been, and I'm in love with who he used to be. Instead of saying, I see who you are now, and I need to make a decision. But my decision is always based on who you are and what I know you to be. And I can see 4 or 5 steps ahead of what you're seeing for yourself. So that's why I say I'm not harping on you, because baby,
Right.
I done took my stupidity to a whole nother damn stupid ass level.
Oh wow.
And it's the dick. I'm dealing with an individual right now
Yeah.
that can't offer me a motherfucking thing. When I'm thinking about a man, and I'm thinking about the comfort. I'm not thinking about if I can cry on his shoulder. I'm thinking about when them lights is off, we in that bed, and I just changed them sheets and comforters, and how good that feels, and how good you feel on me, and we feel on each other. I'm gonna think about the bad shit the next day, and then I'm gonna start sending text messages like, you know, all we got is sex. Bitch, you should have said that before.
Yeah.
Well,
You know.
I guess I've never, well, I haven't experienced being digmatized. I'm gonna say that. So like
What is your definition of that? Because
That's a good question.
so my mother has embedded in us as her children, her daughters. Dick don't last that long. Okay?
Meaning.
Pussy don't last that long, so it's like when a man inquires about mines, it's like, why are you minding what's for me? You know what I'm saying? And with how my dad, with his excursions, it's like, I'm not gonna say it's a free for all, but it's one of those things like, you have your fun, you have your placements. It don't matter. Sex is sex. It's not like I'm trying to trap you. I want you to be with me. It's not like that. It's a free thing. It's a free love, you know? So I'm not gonna ever place myself as like, oh my God, the best. No. It's whatever my experience is, and however I may adjust myself to being with you. It's not like, it's not a big thing for me.
Do you think a man will be with you without the sexual aspect of things? Do you still think he'd say, I want to be with you in your totality without the sexual aspects of things?
No, I know sex is the top priority for some people. But I also know that I don't give myself to everybody that I want to fuck with. I know how to hold back what I really want to do based on the person. I don't give a fuck if I give out trash ass sex. I don't give a fuck. Like it's not.
Say that again.
I don't care if I give out trash sex. You know what I'm saying?
Meaning you.
Meaning me.
So
Meaning your performance is
Me and
not
my
the
performance
best.
is not the best.
You're just giving it out.
I'm just giving out because of how I feel for that time, in that space, in that moment, that headspace. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like a make or break for me. But for the people in which I do put it down on, you know, everybody can have their own separate talk about the experience.
So
but
with
it's nothing for me.
With respects to your mom, because you mentioned your mom.
Yeah.
And, you know,
my mom would say,
she was loyal.
Pussy ain't mine.
Right.
Pussy ain't mine, so why you minding mine?
So do you think,
like my mom thinks, like,
do you think that she'd be like Megan, get that pussy out even if you don't feel like it? Or would she tell you, give that pussy out to the right dick? Because you have grown up in a household. With my mother being a
Capricorn, yeah, she would say that. Give it out to the right one. But with my dad being a Sagittarius of December,
would you want
it will be a
whoever
is the top.
So
dog.
Who would you want to mimic yourself more so after?
Yeah,
individual who will give it out, or individual.
It's a balance of both. It's a balance of both. But at the end of the day, it still relies on my options, my choice.
Can you go deeper for me on that?
But my choice would be whatever I'm feeling. You know, I can be attracted to somebody that, you know, has a good conversation. Depending on how I feel, you know, we'll do something. I'll let them know this is the only time. This is one time only. This one night. This ain't going beyond that. And this is before they can even say it. We could make the continuation. This is me saying whether it's good or bad. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? It's still my choice. So that's another thing women have to understand. It's your choice. It's not like men finna rape you.
Well, even
though there's some women that have been.
They'll take that thing so fast.
No, but there's some women that have been. Get beyond that by saying I'm gonna force it, blah blah blah. But
so you feel like you have ultimate control of that cootie cat?
I have ultimate control of who I want to give it to.
Of that cootie cat?
Yes.
You feel like you have
ultimate
control.
Ultimate, very much so.
No one will take that thing if they want that thing.
No one.
You feel like you can just pop that thing.
So whomever I want
on that dick.
Whomever I want to, yes. I feel like I have
with no repercussions.
All right. God bless.
God bless. Okay, moving right along. So let's go a little bit further, right? Let's just change the narrative a little bit, right? Lady Di, D. I keep saying Di because of Demetria. But Mama, you've been married and currently married, right? So give us some scenarios where you can be rocked to sleep within a marriage.
That's real good, because you can be rocked to sleep within a marriage, and I think that's the positive side of it. Even if you're not married, you can still be rocked to sleep with a dick and be positive. But that, because everyone doesn't want to be married, you know what I'm saying? So, but within the marriage, I remember years ago when I was younger, my mom was very open, very honest with me. Taught me a whole lot about this thing called life and how things go sexual and dating, marriage, and things like that. She used to tell me, you give them a little and you whip it on them. You see what I'm saying? Okay, that's the lure, because they have a lure as well. You know what I'm saying? They do all of their things to get us. Like as we were discussing, for them to rock us to sleep with the dick. So we have to have something on our end too. So she used to say, give them a little and whip it on them. And I was like, give them a little and whip it on them. Give them a little and whip it on them. Inside of the marriage, you know, in the beginning, giving them a little and whipping it on them. Him wanting and craving. Because men, you know, they're going to do, you know, boom, giving him something to want more. You know what I'm saying? What's the next level to it? Because if you coming in the door, sitting them down, what he waiting on? You see what I'm saying? Giving him that little and wanting him to crave me more on different levels. You know what I'm saying? So after those things take place, you know, then you're getting him in a good space, and and I think that's a good thing within the marriage. You said marriage, so that's why I'm just
of course
zoning in on marriage, because it doesn't necessarily have to be married into a marriage, but you were zoning in on the marriage. And I think that's a good thing, because after that part within the marriage, you open up and there's levels to this thing called love. You see what I'm saying? And him craving you and you craving back, you allowing him to rock you to sleep with the dick. And then things will be on a different level. We're experiencing each other on a different level.
Yeah. So even with that, right, you know, I've known you my whole life to be married, right? Even married, divorced, married again. So with, you know, with the rocking to sleep, you know, at some point it comes to your rocking to sleep and his rocking to sleep no longer works, right? So explain why.
I don't think that it's
I say it comes to a point, right? So let's
talking
just
about like in the marriage is ending.
yeah.
or
So it's like, you know, if you're giving it all, you give him that, you know, to give him something to keep coming back to, you know, and then it still ends. Like, how do you deal with that? And how do you feel like, without going too much into what you've experienced, how do you think that starts to happen? Because if I'm supposed to give a little bit to get more, and I'm supposed to give him something to want to, you know, want him to want more, how do we stay on that path?
other things play. Other things are in play. If you're speaking on the marriage coming to an end, it's more to it than just the sex, more to it than just rocking me to sleep. Because as we know, sex can't keep a marriage. Sex can't keep a relationship.
No, it can't. I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Sex can't keep a relationship by itself. It can't keep a marriage. You know what I'm saying? Sex can't make the man want you forever, and vice versa.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So other things are in play to a marriage coming to an end. Even after you've given yourself all, you know what I'm saying? There's other things that come into play to end a marriage. But I would say, like, within the marriage, you know, sex should be amazing. It should be amazing. You should be,
Oh, yeah.
You should be, you know what I'm saying, exploring so you can't explore anymore. And I always used to joke about the fact of, and sometimes I still say it too, because I take pride in it. I take pride in sex because that's the inner. That's a place where no one else is able to explore me, and vice versa. And I think it's amazing if you're doing it in the correct way. But still, even when you are, sometimes things doesn't work because there's other things in play that can bring your marriage to an end.
So let's go a little bit, let's get out of the marriage, right? You know, we hear all the time where we women that are single, that are dating, and they say, don't give him wifely, you know, don't do the wifely things. How do you differentiate? You know, of course, I'm human, I'm flesh. I want that dick. I'm going to do what comes natural to me. I'm going to still clean. I'm still going to cook. I'm going to make sure that he has his shampoo because I see that he's running out. And because how I know men operate, they're going to wait till they ain't got nothing left. And they got to use my soap. Until. So, you know, people can say, I'm being rocked to sleep right then. So what's the differentiation between actually being rocked to sleep and stupidity versus being rocked to sleep into us taking it to that next level?
When you're not getting anything back in return.
Okay.
I know some people might say that sounds petty because it's not a 1 and a 2 and a 2 and a 2, but if you're giving all of this and he's not, then that's when the stupidity comes in. That's when you would fall under the category, to me, I would say, being rocked to sleep with a dick. Yes, within a relationship, even if it's not a marriage, you don't be played. Because we all know, like, within ourselves what that play is. It might not be the same for each person, but like you were saying, he's running out of this, so I'm going to go and replace that. And I'm going to make sure he has everything that he needs, but what is he doing for you? What are you getting in return? Now, I'm not going to say if you're buying all of his soap or all of his toiletries that he's supposed to replace yours.
Right.
But whatever your need is, him meeting your need as well.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, and not giving him too much, the wifely duties will spill over into the part, where is this going?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You know, where is this relationship going? What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? What are the goals for this? You know what I'm saying? And everybody doesn't want to be married, but are we having a committed relationship here? Or are we just piddle-patting with each other and you go your way and I go mine, but I'm giving you all of me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And women tend to give all first. And the men, they will bite off that sandwich until they down to the nubs. And they're like, you know what? Actually, I'm full. Let me go see what this salad looking like.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not being funny, but, you know, we as women, we operate out of what I say is DNA. It's who we are.
Yeah.
We're
That's how God created.
exactly. So it's kind of like,
And you can't be ashamed of that.
come on,
You can't
talk
be
about
ashamed
it.
of that. You really can't. Like,
No.
any man that I give time, effort, real input to, I'm treating them as if they're a kept man. I'm going to be honest about that. No matter the status, no matter what you are and who you are to me, what you mean to me is where I'm going to treat you as a kept person, period. And I don't have it to where I'm expecting something in return, because DNA, it's in me, it's my nature, it's just what I want to do, and it's where I feel comfortable with doing and how I want to move forward. Like, you don't have to instruct me on anything. You missing a pair of socks, I'm going to buy you a pair of socks because I see it. Whereas men are like, tell me. I'm more like, I see that this is a little lack. Or
Now, do you feel like
don't
you're a
have that.
dying breed?
Huh?
Do you feel like you're a dying breed?
The dying breed comes to when they say the phrase, don't put all your eggs in one basket. That feels like your NUA is only one person, to where you only see this person.
And when I say dying breed,
There's not a lot of women like that.
yeah,
I feel like
I
there
mean-
are. I feel like there are a lot of women that are the same way. They don't think that requittable, love is what it is and what it stands for, which is one-sided. Because it doesn't have to be that way. It's really the DNA of the woman.
so I want to be very clear when I'm understanding before I say or go any further into it. So you're okay with having a man to feel like a kept man? Are they making you feel like a kept woman though?
What we were just talking about.
So that's the thing.
Or does that not matter to you?
It does not matter, because in my nature, like you said, DNA, it's something that is a second nature. It's a norm.
So
it's
that
it's
gives
how
you.
it's how I.
So are you more of the because it will come off more of the testosterone than the estrogen?
Well,
Do you
and
feel
that's-
that?
So I don't feel that way. I don't feel the way at all. Only because how I was, not saying how I was raised, but just how I come off, it comes so natural. So if I'm at Target and there's a deal, and I just so happen to stroll over to the men's department,
Yeah.
and I know your size,
Yeah.
I'm going to purchase these pants because you fit an aesthetic that I think you should try.
But in your
You know what I'm
mind, where does it
That's
become?
us.
Where does it become in your mind?
The nature of a woman.
It's
The
the nature
nature
of
of
a
a
woman.
woman. But also still, where does it become a time and it's like, is he reciprocating this? Can I go 3 years
So that's when
doing the same thing for him and he will not?
So that's the same.
Reciprocate.
That's the same argument of a woman that cannot accept a compliment.
Go deeper.
If you've been told a compliment, you'd be like, beautiful woman be like, oh, whatever, I heard it plenty of times. Then you have a woman that is not so beautiful, and they'd be like, oh my God, you feel that way. I can only accept that if I actually feel it. If I feel the words in which a man is saying, I can act on that because I stand strong in that. Then you have women that are not strong enough to feel like I am pretty, I am beautiful. This is all about how I perceive myself. I can't expect my strength to come from a man's words. if I don't feel it for myself. I have to build myself up. Because the same guy that says, oh, girl, you look good in those jeans. I'm looking at myself, nigga, I look like a beluga whale in these jeans. And I'm looking at myself in a mirror. You're lying to me. I have to know for myself, and I have to have the confidence for myself to then say, I can accept what you're saying, and I know you're trying to make me feel better, but that's not going to cut it.
But
If I don't feel it, then what you're saying is null and void. I can't accept it because you're just saying something just to make me feel good.
But we got to go deeper than that.
But that's the thing. Our own intuition has to come from ourselves.
But that's saying that you're not ready to date.
No.
If you can't take a compliment from someone and all you can do is tear yourself down, you're not mentally prepared.
So here's my thing. I never want to present myself to someone flawed. I never want to. Wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to present myself flawed to someone else. The reason why I can feel like I'm a mentally settled down, I'm emotionally and spiritually, to where how do I want to present myself whole to this person? If I'm going to present myself whole to this person, that means I'm really going to look at myself with a microscope.
But why are you doing all that and he's doing nothing?
But it's not his journey. It's mine.
But why be with a man that the journey is not matching? You're not equally yoked. Why pick yourself apart to say, I need to work on A through X, and he's like, yeah, baby, give me, yeah.
But that's
and then you
we would never match.
But that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So you're portraying, I'm going to do this for him. I'm going to go on Target. I'm going to do this for him. I'm going to make sure he's good. And I'm saying, what is he doing for you? Like, oh, it doesn't matter what he's doing for me. I'm going to do it for him anyways.
That's a test.
I'm going to take into consideration that I have to pick myself apart mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Mm-hmm. However, like, you can do that by yourself. Why would you have a man with you that will just feed off of you like a leech?
Yeah.
Feeding. He getting fat. And you breaking yourself down for a man that's like,
Well, it's a lot of discussions, a lot of layers to that, because the person in which I'm presenting myself drainedly is how I'm trying to see for myself how far I will go. That's me draining myself. That's a personal thing that I would do.
Why not do it by yourself, though? Why bring someone else into that case?
You haven't reached that point.
Who?
So selfless. Being selfless means just as it is. You're
putting
yourself last and putting that person first. I've never been in a situation until I placed myself in a situation to be selfless and not selfish. Some women...
But I think when it comes to our bodies, us giving our bodies, we supposed to reel that in.
Yeah.
We supposed to reel that in. Even though we are created to be nurturers, I think we are supposed, because it happens to people all the time. I cannot say that it literally like fell on me and it happened to me, because I was married for 25 years before being married now. I was a virgin to my husband, so I didn't have a lot of experience of like joy hopping out there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But I will say we are supposed to think more of ourselves than to hop.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to be like, okay, like loosely, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Having control over our bodies as women means a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because what they get from it is everything. This is all that we have. You know what I'm saying? This is all that we have. And they'll do us like that as women if we allow it. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they'll do you like that, and they'll do me like that, and they'll do the next person and the next person. And then that's how you get this whole big world of little boys.
But we also have to realize.
Still haven't grown up. Because
but we have to realize,
as women are allowing it.
Exactly.
It's a choice.
If we allow it, there's no one growing up we're not getting any better. We're still doing the same thing. There's a cycle that is not going to be broken.
Until what? The change.
Right. But if you don't see it within yourself, and even using the hypothetical that you were saying, you know, I'll give myself to see if I can do it. You know, that's doing a disservice because now this man feels.
No, that's hard. It's hard.
It's not, because I know for me, right? I know when I'm with a man, I want to give me all of me, except my booty hole. I want to give all of me. I want to show this man. Yes, I can cook. I can clean. I can nurture you. I can pray over you. I can pray with you. We can pray together. We can do all these things together. Right? I want to show him that.
That he's the one.
And hopes, because guess what? When you go, for me, I'm going to say for me, when I start talking to somebody and we get past that 3, 6, 9 month mark, I'm already praying the prayer, Lord, if this man ain't for me, go ahead and let him go. Yeah. Because now I'm past 90 days. I'm getting hired onto this job. Okay? I'm not an individual that run off emotion. I don't need the everyday holding hands, talking to each other. I love you. I can go a few days without talking to you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just how I operate. But if I'm sitting here and I'm giving him, you know, I don't want to have sex today, but he wanted, so I'm going to give it to him. You know, I know it's typically good, but today I'm just feeling down and out in the dumps. He don't see that I'm feeling down and out. And sometimes it's better to be seen than heard. You know, I want my man to be like, you know, my baby I brought her some chocolate covered strawberries and still sitting there. Something's going wrong. You know, I know how she usually greets me, and I'm not feeling that. You know, so even if the dick is good, I still want him to be. I feel like when it comes to being dick to sleep, it has a lot to do with women feeling that versus a man. Because as long as they can bust a nut, yeah, I'm going to keep coming over. The moment that they see you and they can no longer get to that point, now it's like, man, all you do is argue. All you do is nag me. You don't do what I need to do to motivate me. A man would throw a woman to the curb faster than a cat can lick its ass. Yes. Meanwhile, we in this motherfucker like, no, he don't have a job. No, he don't have a house. No, he don't have a car. No, he has no ambitions. All he do is cuss me out. He even slapped me one time. But I know he was frustrated because he didn't have a job. But if I slap the shit out of him, guess what he finna do? You know what I'm saying? He's done. He's done. Yeah. And he will ultimately tell you exactly how he feels about you because now he's disrespected. The moment you tell him, baby, you ain't the head of the household in my house. My name is on this deed. But I'm the man of the house. Nigga, you sleep here. That's it. And the moment you challenge a man, a boy, or whatever you want to call him,
a man,
he's anatomically a man.
I call them male species.
Yes, the male species. But they still operate on unresolved issues within themselves. Yeah. That says, even if I bring nothing to the table, I'm the table. And a woman has to prove to me while she is the legs. Whole time, nigga, you should be the legs to hold the fucking table up.
Yeah.
Correct.
But again, it goes back to she knows where home is, and that's below the belt. Women say he knows where home is because we cook and clean and making a bed, making sure he has a comfortable place to go to. But she know where home is because I'm putting that dick down the right way. Mm-hmm. I'm feeding her nothing but empty promises, but because she's missing something, she eats it up. Mm-hmm. It's like a goldfish. They can continuously be hungry, but the more you put that little, they're going to continue to eat. They will overeat themselves.
Yes.
Into death.
Yes, but you know what, ladies? I would like to say we need to try to wrap this up, and
yes,
we need to have another. And what I was waiting to hear, what I thought I might hear from one of you all was, wait a minute, let's speak on the power of the pussy. Because we never included that.
And that's another topic. Well, she alluded to it.
I hinted at it, but I was
She alluded to it. But that's a whole nother topic within itself.
We need to speak on that because even though he's rocking.
Absolutely.
So
Because we got
Yeah.
some lethal
So
stuff
what?
down here. Because they wouldn't have the power of the dick without the
With
power.
of the pussy.
Come
That's what
on.
I'm talking about. That right there. So thank you all for coming out, and guess what? This has been a legend.
Allegedly, because y'all really don't know her. Come and tune
in.
Let us know what you would like to hear. Ladies and gentlemen are welcome.
Yes.
This is an open space.
Yes.
We have our thoughts. Y'all have yours.
Definitely.
Let us know what you all want to talk about, and we're here for it.
Yeah.
You know, it will be hosted by none other than allegedly Demetria.
That would be me.